Utah judge sets $100,000 bond for NBA Youngboy in prescription drug fraud charges. Youngboy faces nearly 50 charges after being arrested on April 16th following a search warrant being executed at his home. The rapper is alleged to have run a prescription drug ring that fraudulently obtained drugs from several state pharmacies. Court documents claim he called in a prescription supposedly for a 74-year-old woman to a pharmacy. He also claimed to be a physician and used a valid DEA number and other identification for the real doctor. We've got footage of Youngboy in court today. He made a $100,000 bail, but this is some real tweaker allegations. I mean, like, this guy definitely needs rehab or something if all of this is true. But here we go. We're gonna watch this live stream. Let's get it. And here's our first look at Youngboy right here. Got a mustache, smiling at the cameras. Okay, his lawyer is whispering in his ear right now. You can't really understand it, but I'm sure someone could finesse this and raise the volume so you could understand it. Apparently, this lawyer, I think right here on the right, is also a lawyer for Gucci Mane at one point.
All rise.
We're here today for a preliminary hearing and a bail hearing. I've had the opportunity to meet with the attorneys in chambers, and it does appear that there has been some type of arrangement reached between the parties.
Oh, he found there's a plea deal? Oh, so he's not going to go to trial for this. That makes sense.
Your Honor, counsel for the state and myself have been in negotiation really since yesterday, throughout this morning, and I've explained those negotiations to Mr. Golden. We are going to waive a preliminary hearing in this matter. In exchange for that, a bond will be set at $100,000. Mr. Golden will be able to use a commercial company to make that bond. That will be an aggregate bond covering everything in total, as contained in the charging instrument.
All right. Mr. Keller, does that accurately represent the agreement that's been reached between the state and Mr. Golden?
Yes, it does, Your Honor.
Mr. Golden, have you had enough time to speak to your attorneys about this decision to waive your right to your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Do you hereby waive your right to your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right. He will be bound over for trial on all the charges set forth in the information, the charging document in this case. Bail will be set through stipulation of the parties at $100,000. That will be bondable. And in talking to the attorneys, it sounds like they would like to set this out for an arraignment at a later point in time.
As discussed in chambers, even if it's set up for arraignment, say in 60 days, the court has made it clear through discussion with counsel, if there is a resolution well before then, we're welcome to come back before Your Honor at any point in the future.
Okay, very good.
So they haven't agreed to a plea deal, but he's going to make bail. That's interesting. I don't know if that's normal, but...
All right, Mr. Golden, your arraignment will be July 1st, 9 a.m. You'll be brought over from the Cache County Jail, assuming that you're still incarcerated. If not, you'd be able to appear remotely for that hearing as well, or appear in person, whatever your preference would be. With that, we'll conclude this hearing. Court is adjourned.
On September 19, 2023, authorities say someone posed as a physician from Provo, Utah to call in a fraudulent prescription to Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram for a patient named Bethel White. The caller provided a valid DEA number. Suspect's call was traced to a number different from the physician's clinic. Okay, because there was a young boy sitting up in his bathroom. The physician being impersonated at the clinic confirmed to investigators that they had no association with the prescriptions and no patient by that name. The physician told employees this has happened several times today. Police waited in the parking lot of Reed's Pharmacy for someone to show up to retrieve the bogus prescription, but no one arrived. On the same day, Spence Pharmacy and Logan received a call from the same suspect using the same physician's information, calling in a prescription for Gwendolyn Cox. What are these names Youngboy's making up, bro? Prescription was for promethazine and codeine. 2 weeks later, a woman suspected of being an associate of Golden's retrieved the drugs and claimed Gwendolyn Cox was her grandmother. So there's a woman involved in this nonsense. On October 9th, Spence Pharmacy received another call from a suspect identifying as the same physician, again trying to prescribe promethazine and codeine to Gwendolyn Cox. Pharmacist requested a hard copy of the prescription with the patient, and the suspect hung up the phone. Damn. They contacted the real physician, who denied calling in any prescription, notifying Spence that his information is being used fraudulently. And then he did it in January again, called in a fake prescription for promethazine with codeine, was called into Larry's Pharmacy in Smithfield, Utah. Prescription had been called in by the suspect identifying as the same physician for a patient named Gwendolyn Cox. Why are you using the same name, dumbass? Holy shit, brain dead behavior. The pharmacy found the call to be suspicious. They called the physician. He denied it. Pharmacy employees described the voice on the phone as someone who was believed to be a much younger person, disguising their voice to sound much older. Holy shit, they could tell they were faking a voice. That is so good. Detective devised a plan to intercept whoever picked up the prescription from Larry's. 2 different females arrived in a white Chevy Tahoe registered to Youngboy out of Texas, and inside of the vehicle smelled strongly of marijuana. The Tahoe, identified by specific dents and rims, is also one of Golden's music videos. Jesus, isn't that damning. I mean, he's guilty, right? Did the women get arrested? The women were detained and later arrested for their suspected role in the operation. Detectives say the women agreed to search, during which marijuana and an empty case for a .45 caliber handgun was discovered in the vehicle. The women claimed the marijuana was not theirs and they were at a pharmacy to pick up a prescription for a friend whose name they reported did not provide. The following day, someone claiming to be Golden's business manager, Golden is Youngboy's name, by the way, contacted detectives to get the Tahoe out of impound. The arrest report says the impound company was suspicious that the Tahoe has been stolen. What? Detectives requested to speak to Golden directly to confirm the vehicle belonged to him and that the woman had permission to use to operate the vehicle. On a conference call, Golden claimed the arrested females were family members and had permission to use his vehicle. Jesus. During the investigation, an agent who was contacted by Gwendolyn Cox, who apparently misspoke and said her last name was White, when asked, court documents say Cox could not provide her address, her age, only her birth month and date. It was very clear a fake voice was being used. Gwendolyn sounded as though she was a much younger male from the southern states. Sounds like it was Youngboy tweaking for drugs, bro. The document says the caller replaced the word ass with axe and other variations consistent with southern dialect. All signs point to Youngboy. During the conference call between detectives and Golden, the court documents say the conversation continued with Kentrail Golden for a duration of time. Kentrail Golden made a statement determined to be excited utterance. The statement reportedly made to Golden's brother off camera was ask him about the prescription that they picked up and continued, she on the effing hospital bed, she on the hospital bed. Wait, they were trying to make up a story that someone was on a hospital bed? How brain dead is this behavior? Is there no fucking... Does Youngboy not have a hookup for lead in Utah anymore or something? He got desperate? Given the manner in which this conversation would break up and go silent for durations of time, it is suspected they had muted my ability to hear multiple times throughout the call. Holy shit, what a terrible attempt, bro. The utterance shows both knowledge by Kentrail Golden about the fraudulent prescription being attempted to get picked up. In addition, it proves intent. Kentrail Golden used the word axe instead of ass. This is similar to my conversation with Gwendolyn the night before when Gwendolyn used the same word. Oh my god, he's using the same terminology with a different voice. Look at all these prescriptions with fake names right here. I'm not going to read all this bullshit, but look at all these prescriptions. Holy shit. Youngboy, you need to go to rehab, dude. It is of value to note that all these patients' birthdays are ranged between 40s and 50s, suggesting they are elderly. In addition, several names are repeats, including different combinations of first and last names with different birthdays. Search warrant for his house on April 16th. Firearm was located. I think he also got gun charges too. He claimed to have no recollection of the previous conference call and no knowledge of fraudulent prescriptions. The NBA Street Gang is a group of associates that have been identified as a gang because of their structure, affiliation, violent behavior. Jesus. Don't get caught in a RICO case, Youngboy. Trust me, it's a disaster. So that's the gist of everything. Youngboy's getting out on bail, apparently. And I guess there's a plea deal coming. I don't know how good his lawyer is, but I feel like he's getting time in jail for this. So yeah, we'll see you on July 1st. Hit subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.
Another drink and hope for a miracle. I hope we